How the West can exploit Russia's Dutch disease and end the war in Ukraine. Russia has suffered from the so-called Dutch disease, where its economy is becoming increasingly dependent on energy exports. Symptoms include cheap imports that drive out native producers and deteriorating export competitiveness that balloons the current account imbalance. Weak economic growth and decreased tax collections produce BOP and budget deficits. Hey folks, welcome back to our channel. Today, we'll discuss the Dutch disease of Russia. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. Let's start. The Economist invented the term in 1977 to characterize the fall of Dutch industry after the discovery of the Groningen natural gas field in 1959. The gas field, which was just shut down because it caused earthquakes and gas pockets collapsed, garnered so much money for the country that it drove the guilder up too rapidly and made the rest of the economy unproductive. In Russia's case, it's the windfall from high oil prices and sanctions on its ability to utilize dollars. At the commencement of the Ukraine war, the ruble hit 133 to the dollar. Joe Biden claimed in March that sanctions were killing the Russian economy and the ruble is in ruins. It swiftly rose as petrodollars flowed in, trading at 53.2 to the dollar on June 28th, its best level in 7 years. After a few weeks of severe bank runs, Russia's financial system is back to business as usual, Elena Rybakova, deputy chief economist at the Institute of International Finance, tweeted last week. She added that those who thought cutting Russia from financing for a few weeks at the beginning of the operation would stop it were naive. Russia's Dutch disease may linger. Oil prices fell to $25 in 2020 during the coronavirus pandemic, but are currently well over $100 a barrel and are anticipated to increase further as the EU weans itself off Russian imports. The EU wants to eliminate 90% of Russian oil imports by 2023 as part of the sixth package of sanctions adopted in June, according to a new analysis by IHS Markit, part of S&P Global. The high value of the ruble is hurting the Russian economy, but the CBR is essentially helpless to reduce it without causing huge capital flight. Minister of Trade and Industry Denis Moncharov says that metals exports are only profitable at 70 rubles per dollar exchange rate since labor and production costs are in rubles but export earnings are in dollars. Sieber Bank's German Gref dubbed exports poison and imports treatment. One of Russia's few options is to choke off the flow of petrodollars, which may be part of the logic of decreasing gas supplies to the West. Gazprom said in June that it was decreasing gas shipments to Europe by 60% owing to technical problems. The corporation's already cut off half a dozen countries for refusing to join in its gas for ruble scheme. As a political strike on Europe, which still needs Russian gas, the Kremlin can afford to curtail supply, reducing the inflow of unspendable money and weakening the currency. Russia also profits from the geopolitical knock-on consequences of the oil embargo, as the sanctions allow America's major strategic competitor, China, to buy enormous amounts of oil at extremely discounted prices. India has boosted its imports of Russian raw material thanks to lower commodity prices. Russian imports from Belarus have overtaken those from Germany, Bloomberg reported on June 8th. Belarusian exports to Russia totaled $1.3 billion in March, compared to Germany's $1.1 billion. Belarus increased sales to $1.5 billion in April, while German imports decreased to just over $800 million due to EU sanctions against Russian companies. Increasing imports from friendly countries are limited, and it will take a long time to make up for lost imports from the West. A strong ruble has reassured the devaluation-battered public that the administration's in control. The Kremlin's planning to weaken the currency. Political scientist Ilya Matveev threatened on Twitter to limit energy exports to control the ruble's value. The current curtailment of gas shipments to Europe may be driven by economic, not political rationale, says Matveev, who calls Russia Dutch disease on steroids. In this situation, reducing oil and gas exports is the Kremlin's only effective instruments for managing the currency. Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and we'll meet up with you soon with another one. Have a great day.